Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of FTB Infinity Skyblock with Arturio Emerys. So today I have something that I'm going to show that hopefully will be useful to you. And I'm not going to lie, I got this from Direwolf. I've never seen this before. I was watching one of Direwolf's videos, and I had been planning on doing the culinary generator thing, and I thought that automated production of the beef Wellington was going to be a very, very long-term goal. And then I watched his video, and I'll be completely honest, I had to Zapruder the hell out of that thing. I must have watched it 7 or 8 times and went frame by frame, because he didn't really explain it. It was just something that Soren made. And I don't know if Soren has a YouTube channel or not, but so they didn't really explain how it worked. I had to kind of figure it out. And if you do Google searches for some of this stuff, there's not good information out there. I don't understand how this works. I don't understand why it works. I just know it does. So let's start over here with this thing. This produces buckets of fresh water. And it's kind of interesting. I will admit, this is a little expensive to do. Each one of these nodes has to have a world interaction upgrade, which that's 3 diamonds a piece. So I've got like no diamonds. I used them up all on this. So we've seen this kind of thing before. You have a water source block, an infinite source, a liquid transfer node with a world interaction upgrade. It'll drop water up this transfer pipe and into these Ender IO tanks. And let me just show how those work, how you make those real quick. For some reason, these were not made more difficult. This appears to be the same way you made it in Galactic Science, so these are not particularly difficult. So this water source is feeding these 2 Ender IO tanks, filling them with water. I have a mini chest, which I had noticed them in NEI, and I have no idea what they did. So here we have a couple of transfer nodes, and a transfer node here, and then just, you know, I think these could be regular transfer pipes too. I don't think they have to be rationing pipes. I've been experimenting around with it a little bit. So let's get rid of these and see if they still work. I think it will. I think I had it this way at one point. Oop. All right. Let's see if it's still working. Yep, still working. It's not terribly fast, but it will run continuously, so that's good. Now, like I said, I don't understand how or why this works. So you've got a little mini chest there, and then you have a transfer node that's pulling from this mini chest, and it's feeding into these 2 water tanks. The transfer nodes over here are pulling from the water tanks and feeding into the mini chest. Now, I put, oh, this is the wrong side. I put a filter in here with a bucket. And then over here, I put a filter with a water bucket. So in theory, it should be pulling an empty bucket, running it through the water tanks, filling the bucket, and putting it back in the mini chest. Now, as you know, if you take a bucket of water and put it in a crafting grid, it'll give you a bucket of fresh water and the bucket back. So that's what's happening here, and I don't understand why adding a transfer node to this with a world interaction upgrade in it does this, but it does. It somehow turns this vanilla crafting table into an auto crafter somehow. So basically it's looking for a valid recipe, and when it sees one, it pulls it out, okay? And those are getting shoved into this barrel here, okay? So now, in Direwolf's video, he had Java barrel B-space upgrades, so that these buckets of fresh water would automatically get sent over here where they were needed. But in the version he was playing, apparently it was much easier to make those B-Space upgrades, because I can't make them, not yet. But I also don't need them right now. So this is a B-Space upgrade. It takes an ender chest, which you'd think, okay, you know, ender chest, how hard can that be? Well, this is disabled, so you have to go look it up. So if you go look up an ender chest, it takes iron chests, which are doable. It takes wool, which is doable. An ender tank frame, we'll talk about that. And then crushed obsidian. Okay, now for crushed obsidian, you need a rock crusher, which it's doable. I just don't have one yet. And then this ender tank frame requires eyes of enders. That's not a problem. I can do it with my mob farm. The enderium ingots, I can make those, I think. Enderium blend is a bucket of ender and tin powder, 2 things of tin powder, some pulverized silver, and some either platinum or pulverized shiny metal. And you can also do it in a, should be able to do it in a Tinker's Construct also. You just got to put the ingots in this one. Put the correct ingots in the tin, the silver, and the platinum, and then use the resonant ender that's in there. Take this out and put an ingot in, and you can make resonant ender ingots that way. So anyway, back to this. So that's how you would make the enderium ingots, and then you have to make these machine frames, which take an assembly table, which again, I can do that, but you have to have circuit boards, you have to have more crushed obsidian, dense refined plates, emerald chipsets, and enderium gears. This is more endgame. So I think in the version they were playing that this was, you know, it was easier to make ender chests. So what I do is I just pull them out of there and throw them into the one that needs it. This one doesn't really need it right now, but now what this part of it does is these 2 legs here, this one makes flour, this one makes salt. And so in the mini chest, you just put a pot, because a pot plus fresh water will make salt. Okay, so we have a vanilla crafting bench here, crafting table. We have a transfer node pulling from it. It has a world interaction upgrade in it, and it's pulling salt out of it. Okay, the pot stays in this little mini chest, and so as long as this has a supply of fresh water, this will constantly make salt. Okay, now over here, this is for making flour. So wheat goes in here, a little mortar and pestle there, vanilla crafting grid, transfer node with a world interaction upgrade, and it produces flour. Now this is where it gets a little interesting. Sorry folks. A mixing bowl, and then salt, fresh water, and flour will produce dough. So those 3 ingredients there, crafting grid, and transfer node with world interaction upgrade, and it will pull dough out of here into that barrel right there. You can see that one's got dough in it. So this one is the 4 ingredients to make the beef Wellington, which is the firm tofu, mushrooms, dough, and spinach, which it's out of spinach, so it's not running right now. And you know, once again, you put crafting grid, transfer node, and a world interaction upgrade. So I've moved some of my crops around so that the ingredients are right here, and these are all 10 by 10 seeds, and there's 16 of them, so I will get a full stack of each one when I harvest. Now someday I will have an automatic harvesting set up. There we go, that's all of them. So this could, in long range, be a fully automated system. Okay, now this one should be making, okay, it's just kind of making flour so quickly it's going through almost immediately. Where'd the spinach? Oh, I didn't harvest the spinach. Okay, spinach. Let's grab the spinach. Oh, I ate some of my spinach. Ah, well, that's okay. And then the mushrooms go here. And this should be making, yep, beef Wellington is being made. So the beef Wellington, you bring over here. And into these two culinary generators, you put the beef Wellington. And that's what's powering my system here. So I'm trying to keep it full of gravel, but it runs pretty quick. All right, so the next thing that I want to talk about is I want to upgrade those culinary generators with like this is the basic culinary generator. This is a culinary generator that produces 8 times as much power, and that's one that produces 64 times as much. That one I don't think we're going to get to for quite a while. But this one, it takes 8 culinary generators, and then this transfer node, this energy transfer node. Okay? So the first step is this is everything it takes to make a single culinary generator. I've already got 2 over there, so I'm not going to make 2 more. And then the transfer node for energy, this is what it takes for that. So I need 4 transfer nodes, which, yeah, here. If you have ender pearls, you can save quite a bit of redstone. So I have ender pearls, so that works out well. And then here, okay, now I need to make a breadth first search upgrade. And to make that, I need to make some speed upgrades. And here are the speed upgrades. Redstone block and some gold. So these are fairly expensive to make, and this is about wiping out my redstone. Okay, so where's the next thing? This thing. That will make 3 of these depth first things. And then I need 2 of those. And that gives me 3 of the breadth first. And so I put 1 right there. That isn't correct. Gold ingot, transfer nodes. Okay, this is interesting. Oh, this has to be made in a QED. I did not notice that, again, because Direwolf, they had one of these, and I didn't think they had a QED. They must have. I don't think I'm making a QED anytime soon either. I think they're moderately end game. All right, let me look at this. Redstone chipset, that's possible. Double layer capacitor. Okay, a basic capacitor is a lapis electron tube, which is doable. Yeah, I can do that. It does take a resonant machine frame. So I'm going to need at least 4 basic capacitors and a blazing electron tube. Yeah, I've got all of that, except I'm low. Well, we have 10 blocks here. All right, I'm not completely out yet. Let's go put this back. My inventory's full. And then it seems like when you make a QED, you have to make something else to power it. Ender crystal pillars nearby. Oh, it takes a soul binder? This can't be right. All right, let's look up pillar. Pillar ender bricks? I don't think that's it. Ender bricks from Botania. All right, let's look at the QED thing again. The strange ender can be used to is not capable of generating ender flux, and you must place ender crystal pillars nearby in order to use it. Yeah, there's not a recipe for it. There is this ender crystal, which again requires a soul binder and some pretty high-end stuff. So yeah, that's probably not going to happen anytime soon. Well, that's a little disappointing. But, I mean, the good news is I got this working. Every time I get one thing working, I feel pretty good about it. And since I have a watering can, you know, it's pretty easy to kind of get a whole bunch of this stuff. Just kind of use the watering can to bring everything to maturity. Doesn't take long at all. And then just gather it all up. And I'll just harvest spinach now because that's the one thing that I'm short on. There we go. That's a stack of spinach. Okay. All right, so for now, I'm just going to stick these in here just to kind of make myself a little bit of room. Boy, I used a lot of redstone to make that. I really only needed just one of these. I made a few extra speed upgrades more than I needed, but that's okay. So all right, so this is going to be a slightly shorter episode because of the problem with the whole QED thing. I should have read that better. I was so proud of myself. I thought, oh, look at all this preparation I've done. And it turns out I had not done enough. So we are going to call it an episode there. I hope everyone gets something useful out of this episode because it was very, very hard to figure out how to make this work. And I don't know, maybe it's just me, maybe other people have figured this out and it's not a big deal, and you know, but I'm very proud of this, even though again I'm kind of ripping it off from Direwolf 20, or actually Soren. But you know, he didn't explain how to do it. Neither one of them explained how to do it as far as I can tell, so I did explain how to do it. So there you go. So if you like the episode, please leave a like on it. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and if you have any questions or comments, leave them on YouTube, and I will get around to them when I can. Thank you for watching. This is Arturio Emerys signing out.